There's a barbershop on Fletcher Street that only appears between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Not on any map, no phone number. But every night, exactly 3 chairs are lit inside. I found it after a bet with my cousin. "Go in," he said. "Get a shave and I'll pay your rent." I laughed. I walked in. The barber was an old man with no reflection in the mirrors. He wore a white coat stained with something that wasn't hair dye. 2 chairs were empty. The third had a man sitting in it, sheet draped over his face, motionless. Too motionless. "Have a seat," the barber said, pointing to the empty chair next to the draped man. I sat. He wrapped a warm towel around my face. Through the linen, I heard a soft snip, then a whisper from the draped figure beside me. "Don't fall asleep. He only cuts what you can't feel." I jerked the towel off. The chair next to me was empty. No sheet, no man. Just a dark stain on the floor that looked like old blood. The barber smiled. "My third chair is for special clients. People who want something more than a haircut. What do you want?" I said I wanted to leave. He clicked his tongue. "You already sat. Now you have to choose. A memory, a year of your life, or your voice." "I don't understand." He gestured to the mirrors. In the reflection, I saw myself, but with 3 versions beside me. One version was missing a chunk of its skull, memory. One was aged, decrepit, year of life. One had a mouth sewn shut, voice. "Pick one," he said, "or I choose for you." I pointed to the memory version. He nodded, lifted his scissors, and snipped the air near my right temple. I felt nothing. But suddenly I couldn't remember my mother's face. Just a blur. A warm blur that made me cry without knowing why. "Service complete," the barber said. "You may go, but the third chair is reserved for you anytime. Next visit, the price doubles." I ran out. The street was empty. When I got home, I wrote down everything. But the next morning, the memory of even going to the barbershop began to fade. I kept notes. I taped a reminder to my bathroom mirror. Never walk on Fletcher after midnight. Last week, I woke up at 2:15 a.m. My hands were covered in hair clippings. My neck was freshly shaved, smooth, raw, red. And pinned to my shirt was a receipt. Third chair, prepaid. Next service, permanent silence. See you soon. I checked my phone's location history. At 2:03 a.m., it showed me standing on a street that doesn't exist. The barbershop has 3 chairs. I sat in the middle one this time. The draped figure next to me, it had my face, and it was smiling. First read this whole story, then I will give you another work.
My grandmother never threw anything away. When she died, I inherited her house, a time capsule of 1980s wallpaper, crocheted blankets, and a VCR still connected to a box TV. On the VCR sat a single tape, unlabeled, rewound to the beginning. I pressed play out of curiosity, black screen, then static, then a video timestamp, November 12th, 1987. The camera wobbled through her living room, same furniture, same floral couch. But the person holding the camera wasn't anyone I knew. A man's voice. "Testing, testing. Okay, Helen, say hi." My grandmother appeared. She looked 30 years younger, smiling nervously. "Hi, sweetheart. It's just a test. We'll record something nice later." The man behind the camera laughed. "No, this is the main event, Helen. Tell him about the basement." Her smile vanished. "Don't, please." Click. The tape cut to black. I rewound and watched again. Same scene, same plea. But this time, I noticed something behind my grandmother. A shadow on the wall that didn't match her shape. It was tall, too tall, and it was waving. I went to the basement. It was empty, except for a locked metal door I'd never noticed. Heavy padlock, rusted shut. I pried it open with a crowbar. Behind the door, a narrow hallway that shouldn't have fit inside the house's footprint. At the end, another VCR set on a stool, connected to a tiny black and white monitor. The screen was on. Live feed. It showed me, standing at the basement door, holding the crowbar. But the footage was from behind me. From somewhere inside the hallway I was currently standing in. I turned. Nothing. moving. The monitor flickered. The live feed changed angles. Now it showed me from the side, as if someone was crouching in the shadows 3 feet away, filming me with a handheld camera, but there was no one there. Then I heard it. The VCR behind me, the one on the stool, began recording. Red light, soft whir. I looked at the monitor. It showed my own terrified face, extreme close-up, and a man's voice, identical to the 1987 tape, whispered through the monitor's speaker. "She never told you about me because I'm not dead. I'm just in between, and I've been waiting for someone to open the door." I ran upstairs. I grabbed the old tape and threw it in the backyard fire pit, but before the flames took it, the tape's label suddenly appeared, as if burned into existence. It said, "Recorded today. You're holding the camera, Helen. Say hi." That was 6 months ago. I sold the house, moved to an apartment with no basement, no VCR. Last night, I found a package at my door. Inside, a VHS tape, unlabeled, and a sticky note in handwriting I recognized as my own. "Play me. I forgot to tell you the best part. I don't own a VCR anymore, but my laptop camera turned on by itself 5 minutes ago, and the little red light is still blinking." My nephew Eli stopped speaking on his 7th birthday. Not from trauma or loss. Doctors said it was a voluntary silence. He'd just put down his fork, look at his mother, and never make another sound. No tantrums, no tears, just quiet. For 3 years, he communicated through drawings, incredible, detailed pencil sketches far beyond his age. He'd fill notebooks with forests, oceans, and one recurring image. A tall, thin figure with a smooth, egg-shaped head and no face. He called it the listener, written on the bottom of every page. We thought it was an imaginary friend, until my sister called me. She'd found a new drawing under Eli's bed. It was our living room, drawn from the ceiling corner like a security camera shot. In it, she was sleeping on the couch, and standing over her, pencil smudged but unmistakable, was the listener. Its featureless head was tilted, curious. She asked Eli, "When did you draw this?" He wrote on a fresh page, "Last night. It was watching you breathe." I stayed over the next night. I hid in the guest room with a baby monitor aimed at Eli's room. At 2:17 a.m., I heard his pencil moving, then silence. I crept in. Eli was asleep, but his latest drawing lay on the floor. It showed the guest room. From inside the closet, it showed me, sitting on the bed, staring at the monitor, and behind me, not yet in the room, but pushing open the closet door, the listener. I threw open my closet, empty, but Eli had written something on the back of the drawing. 4 words. It learned how to move. The next night, my sister found a drawing taped to her bathroom mirror. It showed the inside of Eli's school, a classroom. At the teacher's desk, the listener was sitting, and on the chalkboard in Eli's handwriting, "Tomorrow it will speak." We pulled him out of school. We locked every door. We sat in the living room with every light on. At midnight, Eli picked up his pencil, not to draw, but to write. 1 sentence. "It says you left the back door unlocked." We hadn't. The last drawing we ever found was under his pillow the next morning. It was blank, pure white, no lines. But in the corner, tiny letters,